Good morning, buenos dias. I hope you are well, staying positive and focused on what you can control. My name is Patricia Mota, and I'm currently serving as President and CEO for the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, or HACE, a national nonprofit organization whose mission is to positively impact workplaces by cultivating the pipeline of Latino talent, providing Latinx the insight, access, and development to be successful in their careers. Happy Women's History Month. This year, our theme is around doing more for your career, doing more for talent, doing more to lead. And I'm excited that this will be kicked off not only during our National Leadership Summit that's taking place on April 21st and 22nd, but throughout the year. And we'll get to talk about that today as well with our special guest. We have Georgianne Ocasio, who's the Director of Organizational Communications at NBCUniversal Telemundo Enterprises. Buenos dias, Georgianne.
Hi, good morning, Patricia. Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning. We're so happy to have you. And for our guests tuning in, get your questions ready. We want to engage in conversation. This is also live, so make sure you're leveraging this networking opportunity in the comment section to get to introduce yourself, chat, and connect with one another. So Georgianne, we're so thrilled to have you. I know we've connected earlier this year, and we have some great initiatives lined up. For Cafecito con HACE, we like to start off by asking our guests, what is your cafecito of choice, your morning beverage of choice?
I'm with you on the coffee. I feel stronger by the day. So unfortunately, I keep on adding more coffee stops as we go, but a big fan over here.
Wonderful. And anything special with it? Just plain? Or?
Well, here at Telemundo Center, we get free coladas all day for employees. So again, we take advantage of that.
And what are the coladas for our guests that may not know?
Well, it's the local Florida and Miami coffee drink. So it's pure coffee loaded with sugar. So again, we try to cut back on that a little bit, but that's a go-to.
So for our folks that are joining us from Florida, they know who it is. And I think for the rest of us, we probably learned something new. Georgianne, so tell us about your background in terms of your cultural, your professional background, and how you got to where you are today.
Yes, so I am from Puerto Rico. My parents were born in Ponce, Puerto Rico. I actually was born in Omaha, Nebraska, because my father used to work for the Army Corps of Engineers. So we moved around a little bit, but most of my childhood I did spend in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I stayed there, grew up there all through elementary and high school until college. Then I came back up east to Princeton. After graduation, I went to New York, started my first job actually was with NBC Telemundo back then. But after that, I did explore various other areas, always related to the communications field in one way or another. I worked, after that, I worked in journalism for a business paper back home when I moved back to Puerto Rico. Which I thought was going to be for a little while, but ended up being more than a decade. So after working in journalism, I jumped into the banking sector, worked in CSR there with them, in corporate communications. I worked for the governor of Puerto Rico, Luis Fortuño, as well, with an emerging markets hedge fund, a private equity group. So a little bit of everything. But for the last 4 years, I've been back at Telemundo. And now I'm with the External and Corporate Affairs Group. So excited for the opportunity, and definitely feel like I've come full circle and back home.
You're what we call the boomerang employee, right? Where you come
Exactly.
back to an organization. What a rich background and so much unique experiences. For those that, I heard you say CSR, so it's corporate social responsibility, right? For those of us that may not be familiar with that term. Good morning, Cecile. Good morning, Justin. We're getting a lot of we want to hear from you all in the chat, and any questions that you have for Georgianne. And thank you for sharing that in terms of your background and your experience. I think it's critical when we have our cafecitos that we're really showcasing who our guests are, because we have a diverse audience and in terms of years of experience too. And so, and a lot of folks that are, kind of looking at gaining professional development, looking for other career opportunities, which is why we're super excited that NBCUniversal is our champion, one of our champion sponsors for HACE's National Leadership Summit and 40th anniversary that's taking place on April 21st and 22nd. There would be professional development workshops, networking opportunities, and really there's some unique things that we're doing with you all that we want to be able to share with our audience here today. But let me ask you first, Georgianne, why is it important? I know we're working on a lot of these partnerships to be able to partner with an asset and events like this.
Well, of course. First of all, congratulations. I know you have a big anniversary that you're celebrating this year. So we're happy to join in that and be a part of it as well. This partnership is really important for us because we have very common goals, and that is to support Latina advancement and create opportunities wherever we can. Here at Telemundo, specifically, we have the Mujeres Imparables program, in which we showcase and we share the stories of women from diverse backgrounds. Every week we have between 3 or 4 profiles that we share, and those women can be amazing executives such as yourself, or they can be a mom of 3, or it can be a special needs teacher, because we think that that diversity of story really showcases how strong we are and how there's not just one path ahead either. Everybody has their own way and their own story to share. So besides that, we also share a lot of resources on Latinas to show how much we contribute to society and how much opportunity there is within our demographic as well. So that is a big part of what we do, and as well as collaborations like these with organizations that have these similar goals to educate and support Latinas, and more so now also excited with the program you have supporting entrepreneurs.
Yeah, no, lots of great things, and we have a history with NBC, starting with Salvador Mendoza, who's now on HACE's National Board of Directors, who's Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Back 5-6 years ago, I was like, don't let me get it wrong. Because of Salvador, we were able to launch our first Mujeres Este in New York at the Rockefeller Center, which is super exciting, and have had a cohort in New York ever since, of course, virtual the last 2 years. But then, throughout the evolution of the partnership, taking us to where we are today, Georgianne, to your point, working with you, with Luis Rosero, and really launching this Mujeres Este for Entrepreneurs initiative, right? So we are graduating them at the summit on April 22nd. And so we're super excited to have that also special occasion happen during this event, where it's HACE's inaugural Mujeres Este Entrepreneurs cohort. And then also you mentioned, I know there's a lot here, but the Mujeres Imparables, how can people learn more? Anything? I know we're featuring a couple of the mujeres from the entrepreneur cohort. What else would you share about those particular initiatives?
Well, if you visit us, first of all, on our main pages on Instagram at Mujeres Imparables, there you can see all the great resources that we share every week. Again, we aim to inspire, motivate, and show that if they can, we can all do it. This year in particular, we also focused our Women's Month messaging on our girls and the next generation of unstoppable women, reminding us to share those important messages that we need to give them so they can grow up with that strong self-esteem and everything they need to succeed in the future and continue tearing down the barriers that we have all faced as we've tried to advance in the world today. We're really excited. Actually, this Women's Month also, we announced a partnership with NBC's Female Forward program, specifically directed to supporting Latina directors in TV and film. So that was a really exciting announcement. Actually, there's only about a week left in the application process. So if you go on our page, you can find the link there. You can also visit telemundo.com/Mujeres Imparables and find the link for the application. It's a great opportunity for any Latina directors with experience looking to get some significant credits in their resume.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great initiative. And we'll make sure if we don't have the information, we'll drop it on the comment section so that folks that are interested in learning more, because you said the deadline is a week away.
Yes, April 3rd is the last day for the applications.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it's great to hear all of the initiatives targeted women, targeting Latinas. We're celebrating a special month being Women's History Month, and so we want to hear from you all, everyone that's joining us, in terms of any questions that you have for Georgianne today in our few minutes left in this conversation. In terms of support that you need, what you're excited to see regarding Women's History Month, the Mujeres Imparables program, and then of course the summit. We have some of our team members like Yanira and Roger engaging in the chat. Excited to meet our Mujeres de Asset Tech graduate cohort at the summit in person, right? We're meeting a lot of folks in person. It will be offered hybrid because I think in the new way of things, that's part of the thing with conferences, right? We want to be able to provide the access to folks that cannot be there in person as well. And so we're excited for this event, again, taking place on April 21st and 22nd. I see Miguel on here saying hi, Mom, it's Emmy. Hello, hello.
That's one of my 3 other projects at home.
Yeah, that's awesome. During Women's History Month, we're always talking about who are our women role models. And I know we talk a lot about our moms during this time, and always the first person that I bring up, in addition to all the other role models that I've had the pleasure of having in my career. Georgianne, do you want to share a special woman that you want to shine a light on, given it's Women's History Month?
Well, I think I have to give a shout out to my mom as well. I think she never stopped pushing us to go for more, myself and my 2 sisters. Even when we wanted to, I still remember her, pushing and pushing and pushing, and we wouldn't be the woman we are today without her. And still to this day now, she helps me operate the circus I have at home with the 3 kids. Because it does take a village. Anybody who's out there will know. And she's a big part of that. So shout out to her.
Awesome. We want to hear from you in terms of who are the women role models that you have in your lives, and that you can bring along. If there's someone you're mentoring, you're supporting, that you think could benefit from ASES Summit, it's not only an amazing networking opportunity, but the workshops and the panel discussions that will be taking place will help you, really think through what's next for you in your career, what's next for you in terms of taking that leadership opportunity. And most importantly, how are we paying it forward so that we're advancing the next generation of leaders and our community to leadership roles? And so the question is that we have, one of the questions is, how can we nominate women for Mujeres Imparables? Is there a process so that we can be able to shine a light on women that deserve? And I love just the diversity of women that you're highlighting with Mujeres Imparables. I think that's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. You can message us right there on our account. Send us the information, and we evaluate them all within our internal committee to see, again, make sure that we're selecting a wide variety of sectors and representing women from different backgrounds and ages and realities. So please send us any information you have out there on any candidates that you think that would be of interest.
Awesome. Georgianne, are you seeing a change in terms of who has a seat at the table? From Ana Alicea, thank you for the question.
I definitely think there's a change in awareness, right? I think now we're looking to the side to see who's with us. I think this next generation of women coming, with us and behind us are also ready to come in there and not shy about what they want and what they need. So that's beautiful to watch. So I do feel there's a change and a wave happening. It's very much present in the conversations, in the decisions that are made, in the boardrooms. So I think we're definitely still obviously not where we have to be. There's still a lot of room for improvement, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
I would agree. I think there's definitely a lot of room for growth and opportunity, but we're having the conversations more than ever before, especially given, some of the things that have happened in society, but also within the last 2 years, we're seeing the disparities for women of color that have increased during the pandemic, right? And one of them being the pay gap, and then obviously in terms of having the seat at the table. And so awareness is great, and that's going to help change, but there needs to be an acceleration that happens, especially now that some gaps have widened. Wonderful. Well, I know we have a few minutes left, y'all. We want to make sure, Georgianne, on behalf of NBCUniversal and our partners there, that we see everyone here, whether it's virtually, whether it's in person, at the National Leadership Summit on April 21st and 22nd. Would love to see you in person, but if not, again, please engage virtually. Opportunity for us to convene in person, network, have a good time, but most importantly, ensure that we are pushing and pulling one another to get to the next levels, to achieve our highest potential, whether that's in your current workplace, whether that's in the entrepreneurship route. This is the place to be, and we're eternally grateful, Georgianne, to you, the NBCUniversal, Comcast, Telemundo team, right, for being such an amazing partner and joining us and stepping up as a champion partner for this event.
No, we're super excited. We'll be there for the graduation. We'll be there for the panels and all the celebrations. So again, we're happy to join you, and more so on this important anniversary.
And
40 years of doing this is definitely an achievement.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Georgianne, let's end on a positive note. What gives you hope for the remainder of this year?
Oh my God, all the stories that we see out there of the things that girls, even young women, are achieving every day, and how we're speaking up louder every day, that really gives me hope. Seeing all the opportunities that are out there for us and how we are making sure that we're ready to take advantage of them.
And I love that your children are watching you, because you are a big role model and inspiration.
Hi, Emilia.
I love it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Please continue to engage in the comment section. Get in touch. Be a part of Mujeres Imparables. Thank you, Georgianne. To everyone, hasta la próxima. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.